In an era where superficiality often trumps genuine connections, Sylvia Handy's book, Visit with Your Heart and Not Your Eyes, offers a heartwarming reminder of the immense power of simple acts of kindness. The author takes readers on a profound journey, emphasizing that the most impactful gestures often stem from a place of heartfelt sincerity rather than obligatory duty. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel and purchasing this beautiful book. The links are below the interview. Sylvia, thanks so much for being our guest today.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
This is such a great book. It's an important book. It's a beautiful philosophy. I think one that should be read by everyone. And I think you'll appreciate society, people, life a whole lot more if you visit with your eyes, with your heart and not your eyes. Yes. Tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind the book and what you want readers to take from it.
When I first started, I started writing things down back in 1999 as the thoughts were coming to me. The Lord was just dropping these thoughts into my all-carrying thoughts. And as a younger girl, I used to reach out to people anyway, just to call and check on them. Back in 1999, we didn't have texting, so it was no. In the 70s and the 80s, there were no cell phones, so nobody was texting. So I would just reach out to a person with a phone call just to see how they were doing. Just to check on them. Yeah. Just to check on them.
Yeah, so you would just call up. It was great to get a phone call like that. You'd pick it up randomly. There was no caller ID.
Yes.
You'd be calling an old friend or something,
Yes.
And it was a great thing to do. So what do you mean by visit with your heart and not your eyes?
The reason behind that meaning is when you find out that somebody's not well, and I use the word not well versus saying the word sick, visit them with your heart and not your eyes. And the reason why I feel people never tell you when they're not well in their body, we all have had friends that never said anything about them not being well because people don't want you wrongly discussing them. So go check your friend out for yourself versus letting someone else say to you, oh, this is what's happening with Logan. If Logan was your friend, then go see Logan for yourself. Let Logan say to you, I don't feel like it right now or what's happening with me. So that's where visit with your heart and not your eyes came from.
You know, your book revolves around the power of simple acts of kindness. Tell us a little bit about this. Share with us a personal story about a simple gesture that made a significant difference in someone's life.
At the ending of my book, I have certain stories. One good story was a friend of mine, she was not well. She was an educator. And I used to, we had a big snowy day this particular year, a few years back before she transitioned away. And I walked around a corner in all of this snow just to see her. It made her feel good. It made me feel good. Actually, a workout for me to walk in all the snow that we actually had this year. In that particular year, nothing was moving on the road, no cars or anything. So I just walked around the corner to make sure she was good. Even though she had family there, it just was the thought that I had came to see her and all that was going on.
Little things mean a lot. You know, it's an old saying, but it's very, very true. You know, people are so caught up and busy in today's fast-paced world. They always have their nose in their phone and they get engrossed in their own lives. How do you think people can develop the habit of genuinely noticing and helping others in need?
I feel that if a person actually pay attention to what's around them, whether it's in their family or just someone that you know, just little things for me. I outdoor bike ride when the weather is warm. I outdoor bike ride, and the Lord brings these. I just see people and see things. And one example is I was riding across a park, which is across the street from my home. This man was laying on a bench, and I noticed him as I approached him. But he was laying, and I could tell that he had slept there all night. So when I approached, we were still in a pandemic, so when I rode past him, I said to myself, I said, Lord, if he's still here when I come back, I'm gonna give him a couple dollars. When I rode past him, the word now came to me. I got off my bike, turned around, came back and put a couple dollars on his blanket. He sat up and what he said to me was, do you have any coffee? And I said to him, no, I put a couple dollars on your blanket. He said, do you have any coffee? So I just left because I knew it was something going on.
Mm-hmm.
I came back by, he was not there. And that's why the word now came to me. Do it now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
things, like you said, little things mean a lot to me.
Absolutely, absolutely. I guess it's a matter of being empathetic about feeling like other people feel. Don't feel sorry for them. Don't be sympathetic, but empathetic. Imagine you're out there on that cold night. Imagine you're the person struggling with groceries. You're the person who is, carrying something in from the store and needs a hand, or, needs maybe somebody to give you the arm so they can cross the street. There's so many ways we can impact people's lives if we step out of ourselves and walk in their shoes a little bit, don't you think?
I agree. I agree. And all of those things that you just said is something that I did then as a younger girl, and I do still today. So yes,
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I try to do the same thing. If I see somebody struggling, if I see somebody in the store who's a couple of bucks short for their groceries, or an old lady who needs a hand across a busy street, call me a Boy Scout, but I'll be happy to give my arm and guide that person across the street because, it's what we should be doing as good human beings. How important is your faith, your spirituality in your life? And has that helped you become more in tune with people's needs?
Wow. Yes, it has. My faith is very strong. So I truly believe that I am a firm Christian. I'm a faithful believer, and not just because it's a Sunday. Every day I talk to the Lord. Every day I speak to the Lord. I get up and I pray about things and ask the Lord to give me wisdom, to help me to see what's going on. I have a good church family. I have a very good church family. So I fellowship with my church family. But when I'm at home, when I'm allowed to go into the spirit, it's the best feeling for me. It's the best feeling. So yes, I'm very spiritual. It
That's
can be.
wonderful. Now, was that a gift that was handed down to you from your parents? Did they bring you to church and that kind of stuff and develop that way?
Yes, we had, when we were younger, we had to. And I'll tell you a quick story because when we were younger, I'm a family out of a family of six. It was six of us. My mother and father had six children. We would act like we were still asleep on Sundays, but she hear us playing or moving around. So she started saying we were going to have to stay in on Sundays if we didn't get ready for church. So naturally we got ready for church. So yes, that was something that we had to do. But then it was their God. Now I know him for myself. So it's a big difference because now I'm older.
Right. But it's great gift that they made you go, forced you to go.
Yes.
At a young age, you might not appreciate the gift of faith. As you get older, you get to know God on your own terms, and that's wonderful too. I can't imagine telling my mom that I couldn't go to church. There was no debate there. You were going to church. And I think more kids today could use that lesson wherever their house of worship may be. Go,
Yes.
thank God for all the blessings we have around us. What was it like for you writing this book? You wrote it a little bit at a time over a number of years, you say, right? Starting in 1999?
In 1999, I actually started jotting stuff down on napkins, pieces of paper. I would be in a store, I would tear a cardboard off or something, just jot it down. But I was just writing my carrying thoughts down that was being given to me.
Mm.
I put it away, but never not think about what I was writing. So fast forwarded to years later, I started picking it up, doing it all over again, but I always thought about it. I have a friend named Susan that helped me stay focused on what I was writing. And I said to her, my first time meeting her, I said, I'm gonna write a book, not knowing that. So the title of this book was all about the things that I was doing anyway. I just started writing stuff down and fast forwarded to when the pandemic came is what made me put it together. Those napkins, I still had all of that stuff. When the pandemic came, that's what made me put it together. Right before you got a hold to the book and read the book,
Mhm.
I had just let it go. So fast forward from 20 to when you read it,
Mhm.
and I used to pray along the way. I'm like, Lord, when I would see people on TV or something, I say, Lord, I'm gonna be on that thing. I'm not worried about that. I'm gonna be on there. My book gonna be in there. And then Logan Crawford picked my book, and that's what made me choose Spotlight Network, because
Thank
I
you.
asked the Lord about this, being able to do this with someone,
Mm. Well,
and He
thank you.
blessed me.
Well, I'm glad you came on our show today. I'm glad you shared your story, that you helped spread the word. Like I said, it's a beautiful book you have written. If all of us opened up our hearts a little bit more, and maybe at times even closed our eyes to some of the ugliness, we would have a more beautiful world. The name of the book is Visit with Your Heart and Not Your Eyes. It is written by Sylvia Handy. It offers a heartwarming a reminder of the immense power of simple acts of kindness. Sylvia, before we leave you today, anything else you'd like the folks at home to know?
I really do appreciate whoever will get the book to read the book. It's not just about me, it's about every all of us. This book is something, the words in this book is something that I've always done and still do today. I just got better at my gift. When I was younger, my dad was the first person I didn't realize that I cared give for.
Mhm.
And I was afraid, not knowing, because no one never said to me that he was not well. My dad knew that I was afraid, but all he did was let me just go ahead and feed him. And all little things that I was supposed to do for him, I could have done. But I was afraid because no one explained to me what was going on.
Yeah,
My dad just sat there and just let me feed him. And my mom never sent me back to help because she knew that I was afraid. So little things like that, if it's just for a short visit, visit with the people, because you never know, it could be us that need someone to come in for them.
exactly, exactly. And a little word of kindness, chatting online at the grocery store, talking to someone who looks like they could use a friend at the moment could make all the difference in the world. You never know. That could be their last day on earth. We have no idea. But we know we have control over our own actions. And by positively impacting them, you can uplift people. And it's a wonderful thing. Sylvia, thank you so much for writing this beautiful book. And thank you so much for being our guest today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.